Another glorious day and time for breakfast, but I've got to earn it first. Nothing like a walk in the sunshine to build up an appetite. And on a day like this, how can I resist? My destination, Tide Restaurant, Manly Harbour. It's market day. Still early, but there's a few about, looking for that something special. And the aroma of food cooking and coffee. So tempting.
Ready?
Yes, thank you. I've got to admit, that was the perfect way to start the day. What to do now? I think I might head back into the city and see what's going on in there. The Howard Smith Wharves were constructed from 1934 to the early 1940s by the Queensland Government to provide relief work during the Depression years of the 1930s. One of the Forgan-Smith government's principal employment generating projects. Initially known as the Brisbane Central Wharves, the project was undertaken in conjunction with the construction of the Story Bridge. Brisbane Central Wharves were leased by the Australian Coastal Shipping Company Howard Smith & Co Limited from the mid-1930s until the early 1960s, and therefore more usually referred to as the Howard Smith Wharves. Nearly a century on, and the Howard Smith Wharves have been developed into a place of pure enjoyment. Pikachu! And Pikachu's a dragon lizard, I'm assuming.
So, he's a bearded dragon. He's got a little bit of loose skin under here.
He's getting old like me. He's getting old like me.
Oh, she's 6 years old. And they pop that up for her to make themselves look big and tough. So, blow it up.
Cool. Pretty sedate.
Yeah.
Used to it.
Sunday.
The main attraction, the Felons Brewing Company, who was named after a true account of 4 felons who, after being shipwrecked on Moreton Island in 1823, went on to be the first to discover the Brisbane River as we know it. And yes, it's raining. A short pause while it stops. And it's time to move on. In 1862, 12 cannons were sent from Scotland to defend the new colony of Queensland. This cannon, serial number 63914, was reinstated in the Botanic Gardens in 2015. The fountain formed part of the first reticulated water supply in Brisbane and was the first ornamental drinking fountain in Queensland. In 1972, the fountain was dedicated to Walter Hill, who was appointed the first curator of the Brisbane Botanic Gardens. Just across the river, South Bank is blessed with many more pathways, manicured gardens and meandering waterways. It's an ideal place to picnic or just relax while taking in the scenery. This is arguably Brisbane's premier entertainment precinct, the centrepiece being its own man-made beach, complete with lifeguards. All this walking has made me hungry. You won't need 10 guesses to know where I'm headed. What to eat? Yep, you guessed it. Thank you.
Only darkness every day. Cause ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long.
Just one last thing left to do, and this is it. Welcome to the Wheel at Brisbane, sometimes referred to as the Brisbane Eye. This is something that I've wanted to do for quite some time, and that time has come. Situated in the Arts District of the South Bank Parklands, the Wheel at Brisbane is 200 feet tall, built in Holland, weighing 335 tonne, and has 42 cabins, each capable of holding up to 8 people, giving a total seating capacity of 336 passengers. From this vantage point, the views of the Brisbane River are nothing short of spectacular. In 2011, Brisbane experienced one of its worst floods in recent history. At 4.46 metres, the river burst its banks, devastating much of the low-lying areas, including the South Bank Parklands. Fortunately, the Wheel at Brisbane experienced only minor damage and was up and running again only a few days after the water receded. Just across the river is the Queensland Treasury and Casino building. Initially designed by colonial architect John Clark, stage 1 of the 3-stage construction commenced in 1886. Stage 3 of the building was completed in 1928, where it housed many Queensland Government departments until 1995, when it was converted into a hotel and casino. A $3.6 billion integrated resort development known as the Queen's Wharf project is well underway and expected to be completed in 2022. The project includes a pedestrian bridge named after the first Aboriginal to become a Member of Parliament. The Neville Bonner Bridge will connect Queen's Wharf to the parklands at South Bank, landing here directly in front of the wheel. Out to the east are the Riverside City Botanic Gardens. The gardens, as I experienced earlier, are a great place for a leisurely stroll whilst checking out some of the attractions. The Weeping Fig Avenue Ornamental Ponds and Bamboo Grove, to name just a few. Nestled amongst the gardens is the Brisbane City River Stage, hosting many international and community events. Connecting the city gardens on the north side to the South Bank Parklands is the Goodwill Bridge, completed in October 2001, named after the Goodwill Games that occurred in the same year. The dedicated walking and cycling bridge, and for those who want a break, includes the Cafe Coffee Shop. In the inner suburb of Woolloongabba lies one of Brisbane's main sporting arenas. Aptly named, the Gabba is set to undergo a major revamp as part of a multi-billion-dollar reconstruction of the area should Brisbane be successful in its bid for the 2032 Olympic Games. Meantime, it is best known as the home of the Queensland Cricket Association and its beloved AFL team, the Brisbane Lions. Just up the river is the Victoria Bridge. Since 1865, several versions of the bridge have existed, each succumbing in its own way to the forces of nature. The structure we see today was opened in 1969. A On the 24th of January 2021, the bridge was closed to general traffic and is now part of the South Brisbane Metro public transport system. To the west, and meaning place of honey, is Mount Cootha. Set amongst the native bushland of Brisbane Forest Park, at 287 metres, Mount Cootha is the perfect vantage point to enjoy spectacular views of the city and even further afield, the distant coastline of Moreton Bay. The site of the Southbank Parklands was a meeting place for the original inhabitants of the region, the Turrbal people on the north side and the Yagara Nation on the south. In the 1840s, this precinct saw the beginning of what could have been the city of Brisbane today. In the 1850s, it quickly became a central point of business and European settlement. In the period after the 1893 floods, it was decided to relocate Brisbane to the higher ground on the north side of the river. Many years later, and Southbank is still a cultural meeting place for visitors and locals alike. Defined by the World Expo in 1988, 18 million people visited Expo 88, showcasing Brisbane as a high-class capital, attracting attention worldwide. The Southbank Parklands are now the cultural hub of Brisbane, with the museum, art gallery, performing arts centre and library all in the one precinct. Thank you very much. I sincerely hope you enjoyed my little trip around Brisbane. I know I enjoyed bringing it to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time, somewhere all over the map.